Alright, I think I got my mic set up well. Somebody tell me if the volume is crappy, what have you. Start off with some general refactoring. Oh, excuse me. Crap! I'm okay. I swear. Alright. So what am I dealing with today? Originally the game was axis aligned, bounding box collision only. And I guess the diversity of levels that I could build with that kind of constraint was a little limiting. I'm sure I could have done. I'm sure I could have dealt with it, but I kind of wanted to capture like the niceness of um of like desert golfing, right? So like if I go over here, so I'm over here, and I want to be able to shoot. And kind of get like a air quotes like hole in one. That was weird. So when my collision's off. Yep, that's good. Ah, yeah. Um, Let me zoom out a little bit. Yeah, and that's what I'm playing around with. Just trying to figure this out. Figuring out like what a good. Change the level editor. Instead of the world, I'll change the sandbox. And I'll go into data. Let's clear this out. Yeah, so I'm trying to figure out desert golfing is a fun game. Like I enjoy that game a lot. And it's such a great feeling when you're like aiming. So yeah, the camera's kind of tiny, obviously, right now. Just trying to figure out what the zoom level for the actual game will end up being. But you go and like launch into like a hole and you land the shot, right? So if I had something like, let's say, change this to lava. I need to get the lighting working on that also. So it's not always so dark. Okay, so let's say I've got like this type of setup here. Like it's such a great feeling when you're like able to aim and kind of hit it. Oh, so close. So kind of want to get that feel. If I'm using my mouse and keyboard, or just mouse. See, that's too high. So I'm trying to figure this part out. Trying to figure out what would feel good from that perspective. Let me go into my game. Parallax background was a pain in the ass to get working. So that's the masking for the player, that's for the bomb. So I've got the width and height to do that. Let's increase it to 4,000. Okay, that totally went the wrong direction. 1,000? What? WTF? What happens if I comment this out? Oh, it's 4,000, but I need to shift it over, huh? What if I do... That's totally wrong. Why is it down there? Oh, because my render target is, or my... Okay, that's better. 1,500. Yeah, I think my camera is 1,500. Yeah, world size is 1,500 by 1,500. 750 for each one of these properties. The center's there. All right, we'll set it to that for right now. I've got to see, like, I don't know. All right, so that means I probably need, probably not that much. Probably 2 spaces. Two spaces might be a nice setup here. Yeah, that's not terrible. And of course, I get it right on the spot at that point. Hope my sound is okay. Let me see if there's a quick way. Let me check my sound real quick. Testing. I think that's all right. All right, that sounds good. Sound is good, I think. My mic gain should be, it's kind of low. The mic gain, all those properties are all the way up. All right, let's just go with it. Posting to the social networks. All right. So yeah, struggling here. Struggling with the feel of the game. See, like the charge up is slow. And I actually kind of want it even further. Like, all the way over there. But, like, that's so far. All right, so launch power, max launch power. We'll set this back to 5. All right. So that's the offset. So probably you want it even more drastic, but let's see how far this shoots me. See, and that's too little. Like, all right, so let's set it to 10. We'll set the offset to like 500. See how that feels. DX, negative 400. I should probably move these properties into the camera. All right, so that gives me a bit more room to play around with. Did I get rid of my sprites? And like, at this point, it's so hard to see. Well, on your tiny screen, so like, I guess it's not terrible. Like if this was full screen. Obviously now this is going to cover everything. I think I need to shift it over even more, and then maybe I can zoom in a little bit. dy and dx, that's the spin. Otherwise, I take the aim angle into consideration. Where do I do the aim? Okay, I'm not even setting the aim angle. All right. Let me bring it back over here. It's like it's not even doing anything. Vector X, so what if I set it to 500, right? Yeah, so that gets me a good amount of range. All right, so I'm over here. But look how far it goes. Okay, let's see how far that is. All right, so I'll set a marker. I need a level editor needs to take that into consideration. Okay, so if I'm all the way over here, like I can't even see that. I can't even see it. If I go like all the way to 750, 800, 1,000, like how far do I have to go to see this damn thing? $900, $800. Come on. This is tricky. All right, so you're over here. Okay, you're aiming this way. Do I want some variation in Y? Yeah, looks like I do. So 400 maybe? All right, so the problem with this is that my verticality, like if I have something that's shooting downwards, all right, so what is this gonna work? How's this gonna work? See, now the problem here is like, what if my target is like down here? Right, so it's almost like the y vector has to be related to yeah, I probably don't have to use the controller. Yeah, it's almost as if the y vector, and yeah, like when you start moving the camera with drag and drop or like mouse controls like that, and it's like, okay, now I don't want to move the camera if I'm using the mouse, right? So if not touch enabled, right? If they're not using their touch device, touch platform. All right, so let's set our launch power to like 7. Yeah, the problem is can I create? Okay, so let's start with what I had. So originally I had it set up. We delete all this crap. All right. Originally I had it set up to where you land on a platform. And the platform has an opening, like right here, and you can jump through that opening, right? I need a better way to lines are a little thin right now. I need a better way to delineate that. Okay, but outside of that, right, so you have to learn, okay, you have to learn how to get that minimum aim here and then jump through like that, right? Okay, cool. So we've jumped through and yep. So you had a point. So you have like a area you can jump through, and that takes you down this like whole like ordeal. All right. So yeah, we can. One thing I liked is that I ended up clamping all this stuff. Could probably make that a little bit longer. All right. So this is how I originally had it set up. Come down. Like crap. All right. There we go. And I think you can barely roll up. Right? So you'll be inclined to kind of roll down. Then we'll have like a sheer drop off here. Like that. And then you're like, left in like a point of no return kind of thing. But it kind of isn't. I guess you can like climb your way out if you really wanted to. I want that to be steeper. And then you finally level off here. Looks like we have someone in chat, maybe? Let me bring the camera in closer. So I can see the damn game. All right. So you're over here. See, using a controller or a keyboard is kind of annoying. Maybe the charge is a little too slow. Okay, so you jump through and you're like, okay, I'm heading into this area. You roll down. Okay, so now you're over here. Cool. And now I can introduce like the concept of lava. Or at least that's what I had. That's how I had it set up. So this will be like kind of like a vista over here. Probably not a great idea to have like such steep angles. But yeah, here would be your first vista, right? Verticality here is kind of annoying. I have to get the Y positioning like shifted down. If there's like nothing below me, I don't know. Contextual camera is going to be interesting, or like kind of a where's the focal point going to be? All right, and then here's where I had like, okay, now let's you gotta jump over that. And okay, so you're over here. You land on this platform. Again, the zoom of the camera, I can't make it so far, but if I make it too small, all right, let's try 3 for the zoom. You lose the detail if I make it too small. I mean, the world can be the like the eye candy. It doesn't necessarily have to be the player. See, that's way too much power. All right, so that was a good amount of power. Let's start with that. Okay, cool. So now I introduce the terrain aspect. 3 people in chat. Cool. Feel free to ask questions if you got any. All right, yeah, pretty vista over here. I'll do a to-do of the vista. Okay, so you're now in this area. Now you're presented with this aspect of like, okay, well, now there's things that can potentially hurt me, right? So you've got bits of lava, and let's say you've got to make it across this, and let's see how much space you get with that. All right, so shoot up. I'm going to have to do some kind of focal point because otherwise I'm not going to be able to see enough of the map. All right, so let's go back to... Yeah, I'm going to have to figure something out with respect to focal points so you can like really see where you could potentially shoot, right? So you're over here, and you have to make it over. You have to make it over this area. Come on, I need to fix my level editor. Let me fix my level editor. That's really annoying. Overlay. Mouse dot move. Mouse and world space point. Select a tile path. 2 screen space. Am I not taking that into consideration when I'm doing the screen space? I'm not taking into consideration the offset. No, I am right there. Okay, I'm taking that into consideration here. What about my overlay over here? So select a tile. Where's my click? There's my click. Where's my render? It's in my game. All right, prefabs. Here are my prefabs. That's the clamping of the map. Those are the tiles. That's the placement of the rectangles. Yeah, I'm doing the conversion to screen space. Is it because I'm moving? We'll figure it out later. Hello, sorry for bothering you. I want to offer... God. Everything's stupid. Tech support. How's it going? Oh, that name. You have been modded. Banned. So annoying. Rare mirror stream. Yeah, I haven't been on a regular schedule, but finally with the end holidays over and game updates and iOS updates over, I finally have a chance to breathe, and I'm like, I can get back to working on my next releases, like my next games. Gosh, this Apple Christmas was not fun. iOS 17 and then Android 2, it was a mess. Like how do I even okay, there we go. Uh Perfect streamer setup, such a waste if you can't stream, yeah. I mean I use it for game development. Can you hear the music okay and everything? Hopefully you can hear the music okay. Yeah. I even have a green screen. I just never I don't put it up anymore because I've got like a cool background thing. The music isn't audible. I can make it a little bit louder. Music would be nice. Tell me if you can hear that. It says the mic should be picking it up. Unless my what's it called? My filter or my filter or gain or whatever is too high on the mic. Mic audio capture. So still can't hear it, huh? All right, let's see. Let me see if I can set up a audio capture. Audio output capture? Audio output capture. Output, right? I don't know how this stuff works. Properties. I probably have to like redirect it to like a sound channel or something. Nothing's ever easy. Yeah, the audio source thing is really just all kinds of annoying. So now I've got this audio source I can't use. So we'll mute that for now. And I think for this one, let me go to advanced audio properties. That's useless. Filters. I have no filters. That's so weird that you can't hear the audio. Like I can increase it, but that's like really loud. Can you hear the music now? Ah, you gotta go to the bank. Stupid bank and their bank business hours. All right. No music yet. Yeah, everything's terrible. Like it's weird that you can hear my voice but can't hear the music. It's like it's right there. You should be able to hear it. Like I give up. Okay, you can hear something now. Cool. Well, I like moved it all the way over there. Maybe I have to increase the gain on my stuff. I'll figure out the audio source thing. I know there's a way to do it. Yeah, it might just be baselining off of my voice. But yeah, I'll figure it out at some point. I I don't know. Like, just redirect my sound, please. Pretty please, with a cherry on top, but it doesn't. Anyways, go to the bank. Do your bank stuff. I'll wait for the next person to help me with the tech support. Maybe someone in chat will know what they're doing. Because I certainly don't. All right, so we have this. Okay, now you're presented with, yeah, the whole lava thing. All right, so you launch here. See, that launch was too low. Like, it doesn't feel right. Maybe I can make that a little bit higher. So let's increase. Yep. Let's increase the launch power. All right, so a little bit faster on the launch power. Okay, so you're over here, and you've got to make it across this lava. All right, so if you do a full-blown launch, that takes you about right there. See, that's so far. That is so far. Okay, I can add some verticality to it to force you to like have an aim angle. No, I don't want that. All right, so I can make you like maybe force you to go over this. That was shitty. Still so far. Okay. Make it go a little bit higher. I should probably bring in my tracer bullets so we can see the launch itself. Let me get that machinery in place. All right, tracer bullets, start tracer bullets, calc. I don't want to do the permutations anymore, given this new mess that I have in place. I have a to-do. What's the to-do for? Oh yeah, bullet logic. I think I fixed all that. This is gonna be. Do I have colliding at on my player? pass this in for right now. I need to pull that value in. Let's go back to my player. See, my tracer bullets are working now. Please work. There we go. And what is the launch? What is my launch power for my tracer bullet? I guess it's just at the max launch. Do I care about the length of the queue? No. Come on, make the next tracer bullet. You can do it. It's not rocket surgery. Nothing in there. Anything in the queue? Nothing in the queue. Tracer bullet should be enabled. I just enabled it. $16 in the queue, and then hopefully it starts dropping. Yep, there's the drop. And so my launch... Frame rate's pretty stable. I think I'm in debug mode right now, actually. Yeah, I'm not even in release. Oh, no, okay, I am in release mode. All right, that's fine. So that's at max launch angle. See, and now I'm going off screen. This sucks. Okay, so that's in view right there. So, is that as far as I can go? Right? That sucks. And render. Where's my render? I think I actually have a prefab, right? For the player. Yeah. And then my find all intersect rect on the camera itself. See, now I'm too far on this end. Target. So 800 is too much. About 700. That looks good. Go to my camera. Viewport for the world. This needs to take into consideration. World space is not taken to camera offset into consideration. So what's the math here? Okay, so minus, I guess. Plus. Hot load's great. There you go. Gosh, I love hot load. Try one. I don't know the math. Just try one. Okay. So I guess I can go pretty far. I need a checkpoint so I'm not having to fly all the way over here every time. This traceability thing is cool. I need to add lighting to the lava. That's hilarious. Love that shit works. I should probably put the watch information on the right side instead of the left side, because that's like screen real estate right there. Okay, so let's say you have this. All right, let's disable tracer bullets. Probably should have a hotkey for that. Is T map to anything? It was at some point. control 1. There's T. Input, level reload. I don't think I'm using it for anything. Traceable toggle. So let me go back to my game. So if it's enabled, otherwise I want to start tracer bullets. The interaction was kind of weird with respect to collisions. I'll deal with that later. All right, so you're over here. That felt good. All right, so now you got to get over this lava. That wasn't terrible. But, okay, you're over here. But, like, where does this go, right? Let's see. Render wall, render terrain. Prefab wall. All prefabs. For each one of those, I can put it into the mask also. See what that looks like. Yeah, called a wall, not ugh. Okay, if I get rid of the walls, what do the lights look like? Oh, that's just the walls. Where's my lava? Okay, there's my rendered lava. I need to create a render walls function at some point. Camera.toScreenSpace for this also. All right. That needs to be larger. Yeah, those need to be a bit larger. Still larger. All right, so there's my walls. It's not a real intuitive API for scale rect. Do I even have a geometry function that's Yep, so I have scale rect here. Okay, cool. So there is a geometry function for scale rect with anchors. All right, so I think that looks good for the lava. All right, so if I move it over here, yep. So there's the visualization for the lava. That's good. I could probably even give it a red tint. That'd be cute. Except it's all white, so I'd have to do a blend mode and do a multiply or something. Let me render this to the scene. I'm not even sure if I'm getting the multiply right. That is wrong. 2? 4? Not 4. Let me go to my docs. Blend mode is 4. So I'm trying to multiply the area below. Blend modes. It's witchcraft, I tell you. I guess it's because it's all black and white. Make a sample up for that. But let's not worry about blend modes for right now. Okay, so I've got lights on that now. Yep. So you just kind of shoot yourself off. Whoa, that was close. But you can't see where you're going. Right, so if you got this set up here, the way I had it set up was this would lead downwards. Like that. And there'd be a way to like get back. But this one, this is where you'll welcome back from the bank. All right, so I've got lighting on the lava, which is good. That means I can make my mask a little bit smaller. I need help. I'm in desperate need of help with the level design. All right. So there's the lava. And all right, I'm going to enable tracer bullets, right? So you can kind of see, we can see the launch angle right here, which is good. And the vision radius is pretty good too. . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . So I can launch pretty damn far. So that's good. Okay, so let's say, yeah, so let's say I've got this set up here. All right, so I'm introducing this concept of like terrain that can kill you. All right, so you launch off, you barely make it over, right? And how's your game coming along, by the way? Are you working on anything specific as of late? Well, actually, I haven't tested a tri-corner to see if that even works. I imagine it will. Looks like it does. Nothing game related for right now. I did spend a few hours playing with DR, though. Tell me about your startup. I have a startup. I've had this goddamn startup for 10 years now. Jeez. Is it a startup if it's 10 years old? Yeah, if you got a link to your startup, I'd love to see it. Route optimization for businesses. I was just finishing up usage tracking. I've got a cool link. Let's take a little segue. Let the what's it called, subconscious deal with. I accidentally marked one of my items as done. Yeah, don't want to mark that as done. Segue into cool startup stuff. I swear I put it in my to-do. Completed. There should be nothing in here. Okay, there it is. That should not be under completed. So this was pretty cool. Let me turn this volume down. So, yeah, so what he does... So he's doing like this is what's it called, n factorial, like straight crunching numbers, optimal cabbage route. And then after that, what he does is he uses like an ant colony optimization, which is pretty cool. Yeah. So now he's using instead of using traveling salesman, he's basically creating a large amount of ants, I guess. And each one of these ants picks a random node. Yeah, it's more of an evolutionary algorithm, and what it does is that when it sets up a ant or like a node and visits a node, it leaves a pheromone trail. So it just like randomly goes to specific places and picks one of the shortest options based on that distance value. Right. Let me speed this up. So then he multiplies it and adds more ants to this, and then the pheromone trails get stronger for those multiple ants. Yep. I'll post this link. It's really interesting. Yeah, so they don't. You're not guaranteed an optimal solution, but it will definitely get there faster. And I think that's the trade-off, is that it might not be 100% perfect, but it's pretty damn close to the optimal solution. So yeah, it might be worth looking at this. And he's got a GitHub repo also for this stuff. But yeah, he eventually like starts using like shaders and different things like that to really do some like crazy stuff towards the end. But yeah, one of my consulting things was logistics, and it's like, if you can park a truck and not have to use that for movement and stuff, it's huge. It's money in the bank, right? It's such a huge win for a company. But that specific algorithm is on my to-do list, just to see, like, from a performance standpoint. Okay, there's a Unity example. He's showing it in action. Can I create the same thing in DragonRuby? What does the profile look like for something outside of just rendering performance, right? So an actual evolutionary thing. Okay, anyways. So this launch angle works, right? It forces you to do your full launch power, and then you land in this other area. But the problem is I'll try playing with the idea with a Valhalla should add to my to-do list. Yes, startups are not easy. Startups are you better really care about the startup that you're starting. I should have done what my friend did. He makes like $150,000 a year off of this damn startup, and all it is a website that helps like marketing people create like a signature image that they can paste at the bottom of Outlook, and he charges like $10 a year or something for this WYSIWYG web tool that does this thing, and he makes like $150,000 a year because people don't know how to don't know how to use Photoshop and Outlook signatures. It's crazy. Here I am trying to build a goddamn game engine. Should have just made a paint tool for Outlook. But yeah, it's wild. Okay. So the problem is that yes, you can see the movement here, but I want you to be able to see the. Let me get the mask for the walls also. Yeah, I see your message. Give me 1 sec. Scale rect. All right, so this is nice, right? You've got enough visual space to see that you can launch over, but for this specific terrain, I want you to be able to see like all this, right? I want you to be able to see where you're going to, but now that it's this small, it's just hard to see in general. Let me set the window scale to, and I don't know the answer. Like, I don't mind losing fidelity or like the visuals on the probe itself. Like I can keep that fairly simple, and then have the like world be kind of like the artistic aspect of it. All right, so this is at 720p right here, and it's tiny. It really is tiny. And like on a phone, I mean, you can't see anything. You can't see anything if it's a mobile device. Or like a Switch. A Switch would be 0.75. Right, so this is about an 8-inch screen here. It's so hard to see anything. So I don't know the answer. I want you to be able to see the terrain and where you're potentially launching to, but I also want you to be able to see the player and what they're doing. But if I zoom in enough to where you can see the player, you can't see the terrain. It's a tricky problem. I'm only doing this because my best friend that I'm working with spent like $1 million over the last 2 years doing Google Ads research. In particular, for the space, and got like 10 million revenue. Okay, so he got some funding rounds. Yeah. Number one tip for if you're doing a startup, you're either bringing the tech or you're bringing the cash, and it sounds like you've got something that's bringing the cash, which is great. It's always fun when idea people contact me. It's like, hey, I got this great idea for business. I'm like, that's awesome. My bill rate's $500 an hour, and they're like, I can't afford that. I'm like, well, you either know the tech or you bring the cash. One of the two things has to happen. So super awesome that you have someone in the domain that like understands the business. So yeah, that's the challenge here. All right, so let me play around with this camera scale. See if I can figure out something that looks good. So if I go into my camera, and I can do things like increase. Actually, let me use desert golfing as a template. Golfing on Mars. Yep. Golfing on Mars. And I'll take a screenshot of this just so we have like a frame of reference of how much visual space is potentially necessary. All right, we've got this. Send this to my computers. All right, so that's the resolution right there. And so my circle is a little bit larger at this point. So if I bring it down to the size that's in this, yeah, so that brings it down to about the size that's in here, and I can simplify the look to where it's very obvious with respect to like the lines and whatnot. I can do that, but yeah, the question is it too small? And I guess it isn't, because they're able to have these visuals, and it's pretty easy. It's still kind of tiny, to be honest. Let me see if I can, because I've got it zoomed out. There's a way to do options. Yeah, so you can go even tinier, and I don't know if this is a good idea or not. And I don't want to like have like different zoom levels. That's going to be annoying. So that's one. That's the other. Yeah, so you can he goes even tinier. And this is a good amount of terrain that you can see. Like, it's nice, but when you get into the fidelity, like when you get into some of the mechanics that I'm adding to the game, let me zoom in a little bit more. Right? So you've got the ability to the thing with different zoom levels, it adds complexity, one thing, and as far as like device size, it's got to fit to to like a 7-inch display, your Switch, your Steam Decks, and then the smallest iPhone size is not that small. You can have different like zoom levels for different areas, but the problem is that with I don't want to have an inferior experience on like a smaller display. That might be the concession that I have to make, but the challenge is that the game has additional mechanics, right? So if I throw up a bomb, all right, so I'm in the air. I put a bomb down. I attach it to myself, and then I can rotate and use that as a launch point, right? So it's more than just seeing a high contrast, golf ball, and seeing it across a trajectory, because you're actually manipulating potential like things on the ball itself. And I probably don't have enemies working right now. So like that's another tricky thing. Yeah, so you have to have details on the specific, and maybe that's one of those things where like I can maybe zoom in if like there's if you attach a bomb to yourself like that, I can zoom in saying like, okay, you're attached. That might be an option. And I do like the zoom level for this. It's actually pretty damn nice to be able to see like this much of the world. It gives you a sense of scale. The art can be really nice for that. Like the vistas feel good too. You've got enough space to kind of see where you're going. You can see general areas. So yeah, maybe this is the correct zoom level. Maybe this is okay. And I have to obviously do a much better job on like just getting things popping off of the background. Right now everything's kind of just placeholder art. And the good thing is that this zoom level is the zoomed in version of Desert Golfing. So all right, so then you get one upgrade here. So you launch into this area, and then let me enable my tracer bullets. So yeah, you shouldn't be able to get back across this. Cool. So you can't get across without using the actual upgrade. So you make it here, and then you can use the upgrade to launch yourself a little bit further. Now, the thing with the upgrade is that now that you have this upgrade, it devalues like the pinpoint stuff, right? So if I'm up here and I have my positioning system upgrade, so this becomes cake now because I can just shoot through and aim how I want to. So the feel good of getting like a perfect shot is kind of you kind of lose that feel good the moment you get one upgrade to like shift in the air, and that's another thing I'm struggling with. And maybe the upgrade's bad. Decisions. I can add complexity to say, well, you got to get the perfect, it could be something that requires like refill. Like you have to, instead of it auto replenishing, but then if you use it in the wrong place, it's like, well, how do you go about refilling? Is it farming? Are you like gathering minerals and stuff to try to do that? If you got any brilliant ideas, I'm more than happy to steal them. So let me know if you do. All right, let me at least commit this. What changes did I make? Replace the sprite. It's the prefab replacement. And we've got the tracer bullets. Tracer bullets working. This would be launch power stuff. Where did I do that? Player, yep. Fine tuning launch power. This is a fix me. I need to fix that still, but I'll get that working. More tracer bullet stuff. That's camera stuff. More camera stuff. Lighting. More tracer bullets. And this would be lighting of terrain. Terrain lighting. And here is more camera fine tuning. And then I go back and do another rebase to clean up those commits. Camera fine tuning. more level lighting. That's just changing the camera. More level lighting stuff. Camera tuning. And then whatever this was. Just sandbox level. The commits that I do for my own personal projects are horrible. I just bombs, levels, refactoring, horrible commit messages. But it's okay. It's just me making games and stuff. We got 4 people in chat, which is cool. All right, so that's the level design. Cool. All right, so you get your 1 power up here. More level design. RIP. Yeah, WTF. Copilot came along and started writing good commit messages with 0 effort. I can go on a whole rant about commit strategies and stuff if you would like, but let me know. I hate git flow. If you like git flow, we can't be friends. Git flow is garbage. Merge commits. Squash and merge is garbage. Just a bunch of crap. All right, so down here, so there'll be like another area down here that requires the ability that requires your upgrade. So that's another tricky thing, is that you get into this area, and do I really want you to have to double back all the way over here to get to this area? Or should I continue down this trajectory right here? But if I do that, then you never revisit this potential terrain mechanism. And this kind of teaches you getting back over, teaches you that, hey, you've got to use this like new ability to get over. Like that. And that'd be cool if it like just kind of landed you in there. But yeah, more than happy to rant about Git. I've only ever worked with single person teams for whatever reason, so I've just always really had most of the linear Git history, very few branches, rarely needed to commit messages, even in 100K line projects. Yeah, and I hear you. The biggest thing for me is that like you saw how I was working, right? My commit messages. Forget the commit messages before that. So like, yeah, these commit messages here, they're not great. But what I did was I kind of like earmarked each one of these specific commits, and I don't think about the commit message. I'm just saying, okay, here's different facets of what I've changed. And the thing is that during a period of work, I don't know if these commits are the ones that are the perfect commits that I would want to retain in history, because what I want the commits in history to reflect is if I had 2020 hindsight vision, what would these commits have looked like? And right now, it's kind of if I have to take the mental one, I'm spending mental overhead to think of a good commit message. 2, I'm actually doing the commit as I'm going along instead of staying in the flow and just, kind of having checkpoints. And then 3, the commit messages that I spent all that time trying to create like really good details for may not be the perfect commit, because once I wrap up this facility, What I want to do is after the fact go in and then clean this up and rebase and say, okay, if I had 2020 hindsight, the first thing I would have done was fix tracer bullets, right? So then this one would actually come down at the beginning, and then another one would be like, well, I had this this bug fix for the camera or for the level editor where I wasn't taking into consideration camera offset. That goes to the beginning too, right? So that's where I invest my time in thinking about good commit messages and whatnot. So it's less about the linear history and more about what that perfect linear history would look like. And yeah, and in the thick of it, I can write a pretty good commit message for the imperfect commit, but I'm looking for the perfect commit to be retained in history. So that's like the benefit there is that theoretically you can go through a project from the very beginning and watch the evolution of the project over time and like kind of see its evolution as if it was perfectly done. And if we had let's say if we had that for NetHack, you know how incredible that would be, to be like, all right, the creator of NetHack was like, okay, I just want to get a screen showing with the character, and maybe that character screen movement thing was all mungled, kind of like a ball of mud put together. But then you take a step back and say, okay, if I knew what I was doing when I started, I would have done like the input system first or the character system first, and then you see that evolution within the commit history after the fact. It's kind of like a historical archive per se. Plus, it makes bisecting way easier and finding regressions. But most people, it's like we're already speaking at a level where we really care about this idea of like writing good commit messages and having a linear history. Most people don't even go that far. It's just squash and merge, move on. So that's generally why I don't rant about it. Okay. So I think I'm okay with this zoom level. I'm gonna have to figure out. The bomb jump stuff. Yeah, I like the field of view that you get for that. I got to figure out the backtracking. Let me show you what it originally looked like. Where am I going now? So I want to look at probe sprites. So I think this is what it originally looked like. So this was with axis aligned bounding box collisions, right? So you got your probe. There's no launch power. You get just one specific launch power. You notice that there's no power ups. This part is all straight, right? So instead of like the diagonals you have, you basically have this kind of verticality here. So you drop down. You get some bit of storyline dialogue. I'll have cutscenes and whatnot, and then you've got these collectibles or guides that kind of help you figure out where you're supposed to go. And then this is the lava area that I was talking about, right? So there's the lava. And yep, we'll launch up here. Floor's lava. All right. You make that jump. I do like the more zoomed out camera. It just gives you a better idea of like the space that you're working with, right? Like this is the space that you're working with right here. And it's when it's zoomed in like that, you lose context on where you are on the map, what have you. All right, so you get your power-ups here. Of course, there's okay. Yep. So there's my first upgrade. I go up here. And then you're able to make it back across. And then you're able to go down here. And you need the same upgrade to get over this this specific area over here. Which takes you into this lower area. And then this lower area, there's more collections that you have to do or minerals, or I don't know what I'm going to call them. And that gives you three of the maneuverability systems. So then you have enough to do this area. All right, you've got enough to do this area, and then you get the final upgrade. And then I make you backtrack again. See, I'm not sure about all this backtracking. So then you backtrack all the way back up here. All the way back. Up through here. Which lets you, and then this takes you to the next biome. So now that you've got all four of the orbital maneuverability systems, then you can go in here and do the leap of faith right there. And that takes you to the next biome. And then in this biome, I'm not sure if I got enemies working or not. Yeah, so like this is what the enemies look like. Right? So you can that was a mistake right there. Okay, so that's what the enemies look like. Stationary enemy, right? If you get hit by a bomb, that kills you. My checkpoints are wrong. Where's my checkpoint? Here I am. Let me do a launch here. Okay. Right, so there's the enemy. And he's throwing bombs. So if you like accidentally hit one of these bombs, I can't hit the bomb when I want to hit the bomb. Right, so if you accidentally hit the bomb, it's attached to you and it blows you up. But then you also get bombs, right? So then you yourself can bomb the enemies, attach a bomb to them, make them explode. Another option would be do a bombing run, put them on above. That didn't kill them, so that should work. And then you also get the ability to have bomb jumps. Oh crap, I picked up one of his bombs. So that's what the next biome will explore, is this bombing ability. there could be a boss where you have to like maneuver around, use your bombs to damage the enemy. Generally slower paced, rewarding, not twitchy controls, but deliberate aiming and understanding of spacing and things like that. At least that's the general idea. So that's what it used to look like. But now I have, instead of everything being axis aligned, right? I've got facets to the terrain that aren't just straight axis aligned bounding box. That required me to figure out like what's it called? Instead of having a fixed power for your launch, right? Now you have a charge mechanism. Yeah, different things like that. So a little bit more, I'm not sure what word I'm looking for. Your terrain's more interesting, right? The levels can be more interesting. And that's what I'm hoping for, is that it leads to a more interesting world. So I think I like the change. I think I like the zoom. I'm going to have to figure out the bombs. I need to figure out the backtracking. I don't like all the backtracking. Maybe this one's forward only, where the biome's over here. And leave the backtracking for later. I might redo the level to be that way. Yeah, as far as unlocks, unlocking all the orbital maneuverability systems is going to be interesting. Yeah, I like the zoom there. I really do like the zoom there. Gives you a good feel of the world. Lush environment. Each one of the biomes will have their own story. What's it called? Remnants of the dead civilization. The mystery with respect to like what happened to them in each one of the biomes. Then we see, I guess, the air quotes enemy that caused the civilization to die. And defeating that enemy and then having that conversation. This reminds me of something like it's actually kind of so you're a von Neumann probe, which I got was inspired from We Are Legion, We Are Bob. So you're a von Neumann probe that's going on its mission to travel the universe, find this rogue planet, and you decide to take a detour on this to this rogue planet to see what's going on. And this rogue planet isn't actually orbiting a star, so it got dislodged from its orbit, and you end up going on this planet, find that there's actual like intelligently designed terrain and whatnot. So you start digging into this, and then communicating with mission control back on Earth with time delay, and there's a story going on Earth itself. Again, from We Are Legion, We Are Bob, the perspective of like Earth's in pretty bad shape, and that's the whole reason that you're this von Neumann probe. And then with the facet of the three body problem, especially after reading it recently, this idea of like what do they call it, the dark forest? Or yeah, I think they call it the dark forest, and that might be one of the reveals, is that the dark forest. And that might be one of the reveals, is that this evil enemy that you see is not necessarily evil, but it just happens to be. This is just how the universe works, right? So you witness the aftermath of a air quotes minor dark forest that occurred here. And so, generally sad story from that perspective. And then over time, because this planet's like moving further and further away from Earth, your communications with Earth are delayed. General time dilation there. So relativistic speeds with respect to the planet, and you end up experiencing less time than what Earth experiences. So your communication with Earth is like, okay, it's been 5 years since you've heard back from them. Things have changed, right? There's a part in the third book, I think, where one of the spaceships that left Earth runs into a section of 40 space and then runs into a large group of dead spacecrafts. Yeah. And the whole like multi-dimensional facets of it, like I've got a portal gun. That mechanic is something I need to reintroduce, but that could be one of the what's it called? Technological artifacts that you end up finding is a portal gun. But yeah, it's not necessarily killing the bad guy, but trying to understand what happened and exploring that facet of curiosity of what's going on, and is there anything that can be done? Is there anything that can be salvaged? So, and as far as like the Dead Civilization, inspired completely by Metroid and like Metroid Prime and the Kozos or the Chozos, and kind of the lore that explored where it's revealed that Samus was part of this Dead Civilization. So yeah, facets to that. Sad story of inevitable destruction of all that is good. Because of course, these are the games that I build. But yeah, I think I like the zoom. And three body problem is I like the idea of having a dark forest and having a latent technology here that is remnants of that dark forest. I like that idea. There's a line from the scene that gets me every time. The fish that dries up the pond had moved to the land and left other fish to die in the puddle. Yeah. Yeah, the, what's it called? What do they call it? like the explosion in technology. You hit that milestone in technology and you just kind of leave the rest behind. And yeah, so then after you explore the civilization, you end up cataloging that information and then leaving the planet. And your last message to Mission Control is to Earth that has experienced 5 decades of time in your duration of exploring this planet, and that's it, right? From that perspective, your consciousness, as far as who you knew and the life you knew on Earth, is no longer there. So you just go on. You continue forward. You continue on in the ether. Leave it open for a sequel if I ever get this damn first version working. But that's the general idea with respect to this. A lot of the Metroidvanias out there right now are all, platforming, twitchy, shooter, crazy upgrades, and I, want this to be a bit more of a narrative experience, but still have the exploration facets of it. Also, if you don't know about it, but Tencent is working on a Chinese live action show of the Three Body Problem. First season came out a while back and it was excellent. Is it on Prime, or can I purchase the season on Apple or anything? It'd be cool if I can do that. It's on YouTube. Cool. I will Google Three Body Problem YouTube and watch that. The fourth book, which was like I didn't realize it was like a fan, like um, a fanfic. It was all right. I think I would have liked it if I didn't have. Yeah, it was all right. I mean, it was interesting. I liked it from that perspective, but I kind of liked the ending that the original author had, and it was just, you know, shit happens. Universe got destroyed. You played with fire, and that's that. Yeah, it kind of left things a little open ended. I liked. Was it in the fourth book where they revealed that the the other alien race were just like bugs the size of ants? I think that was revealed in the fourth book. And so I'm like rereading the books, but that fourth book is tainting the vision, like the imagery I'm getting with respect to the alien race, which is annoying. Is like, were they really bugs? Like, what did the original author intend for them to be? Were they humanoids that were able to like dry themselves off? What was the deal? Yeah, it took away from the three body. It kind of did. It was fine. I mean, it added like a bit of a whatchamacallit. It kind of was logical, like if they were like small little ant beings, which is their benefits being the hive mind, which is why they couldn't ever understand like the deception, the facets of deception with respect to humans. So I like that tie-in and kind of that continuity there. I think they did a good job. But but yeah, bugs. That's fine, I guess. And I think the original author essentially blessed it, right? It's not like it was like please don't publish this. This is horrible. So he gets a nod from the original author, but yeah. I think there was a book Zero also, and I don't know if that's fan fiction either, like a prequel or whatever. Anyways, I think this is a good stopping point. I think the zoom is good. I need to work on the contrast. I need to work on the art, the levels, the actual like level design with respect to the initial release, which will be the first biome. I plan to release that and then see if there's any uptake. Right? There's no point in creating that. I'll create parts of the second biome and kind of a cliffhanger there, but yeah, if there's no interest, then air quotes cut my losses and then go from there and pick something else up potentially. Wish this was a hobby and this would, then I can spend as long as I want building it, but it's like I got to get this first biome out and capture some monetization either through as like a loss leader for my other apps, visibility in media, something, right? But I have to capitalize on this work, and so probably a good 80 hours of work left. I'm already over my initial estimate, which kind of sucks because of this overhaul of the level design that I did. Lesson learned, I guess. But yeah, I need to get this first biome out, release it, see if there's any interest in the market, then build from there. You don't mind the fact that there were bugs. It's just that I wanted them to be open-ended question. I liked it. I liked it open-ended. Another facet of it is like it's kind of sad that the Terran solar system got destroyed. But yeah, it was interesting. It was a good ending. I liked that. I like books that don't have happy endings. Makes it feel a little bit more real. If you haven't read We Are Legion, We Are Bob, fantastic book. Absolutely fantastic book. It's hilarious. It's entertaining. It's great. I'm trying to think of, I think those were like the most recent sci-fi stuff that I enjoyed. And you've got the Mistborn saga. That's kind of like fantasy sci-fi, but I really liked We Are Legion, We Are Bob. The Bobiverse is just fantastic. It's got a little bit of a Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy vibe, except it's not stupid. I hate Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Sorry. The premise is that, it's nice, I guess, but eventually it's just what's it called? British humor and just nonsense, and it never goes anywhere, and it's like, oh, you learn how to fly by pretending to miss the ground. It's like, no, that's not how flight works. Oh, I love Monty Python and the Holy Grail. I think that's fantastic. I'll quote that entire movie. but I think like Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, I want like what's called science fiction that's kind of grounded in some kind of existing science. And some of the BS in there was like, you are not this is not in any way physically possible, and you're not explaining if it was, right? They don't even explain that as facet of it. But We Are Legion, We Are Bob is hilarious, but it's also scientifically consistent, which is really nice. It's a great book. Like you read like the first 2 chapters of the first book, and you'll be hooked. The main protagonist is a software developer. He gets hit by a car, and gets reanimated as an android and becomes a von Neumann probe in the future. In this post-apocalyptic kind of future. But yeah, he's a software developer. So then he's like coding VR in his von Neumann probe. It's awesome. And then he clones himself, and then each new person has to think of a new name. So then his very first clone calls himself Riker, number 2, and then you end up getting like Goku and Homer, and he acts like Homer. And then you get the 7 dwarves plus 13, and then like the clones start like diverging, and then some of them start up like a D&D group in VR. It's hilarious. It's hilarious, but at the same time, it's grounded in some really good science. On top of that, they explore a lot of cool ideas. The only other science fiction series that I really liked was the Shadow Saga for Ender's Game. That was fantastic. I liked it better than the actual Ender Saga with the first 4 books. But definitely put that on your list. All right, I think this is a good stopping point. I'm gonna figure out the level design, do some art, get rid of my placeholder art, get this all looking nice instead of black and white. and that's boring stuff that's hard to stream. Hopefully, I'll stream again next week at some point, maybe, instead of being so rare. But thanks for hanging out. Tech support, it's awesome. Makes it all worth it. And got a lot of progress done on this. So, all right, have a good one.